Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz Interview Series with jazz saxophonist, recording artist, performer, teacher, and a man that Harvey Pekar called one of the best tenor saxmen in the world, Ernie Krivda. Over the course of our conversation, he talked about an upcoming gig in Kansas City at the Blue Room off 18 and Vine on April Fool's Day 2016. He also talked about his latest album, Requiem for a Jazz Lady, along with what's going on in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio these days, and who he thinks he really is. Dig this interview, my friends.
Thank you for taking some time to talk with me this morning.
No problem.
I'm going to go ahead and just dive right in here and ask you, what is bringing you to Kansas City?
I'm touring here to promote my new CD, Requiem for a Jazz Lady. That's one reason. The other reason is that it's great to play in Kansas City, which has such a deep jazz history, you know, and the Blue Room being right on 18th and Vine and all. I mean, that's kind of a rush, you know what I mean? So it's a neat place to play, and then, you know, we're trying to draw attention to the new recording and, you know, just playing any place is what I love to do. So love being here.
And your latest album is a beautiful listen. Give me an idea of how this project came about.
I got a call from a lawyer who was the lawyer of the sister of Beverly Jaros, who was murdered in 1964 in the suburb of Garfield Heights. And I do remember that because I was around then, and I'm from Garfield Heights. It brought back memories of that particular time, and that particular time was a major period for me because it was when I was first coming out as a young jazz musician, and I was coming out in Cleveland's historic jazz district. It no longer exists, and that's a shame. And unlike Kansas City, who gets it, you know what I mean? That was the great 105th and Euclid area where, you know, jazz was flourishing. And the lawyer asked me, did I see Beverly in any of these clubs, this club, that club, with this? So it dawned on me that she was like going out and checking out the music, you know. And so that kind of got my mind rolling, and so I put this story together of that particular time, and I used Beverly as kind of a metaphor, if you read the notes. That part of it, you know, and then I fit the music to the story, and there we go. That's how it all began.
So I got to ask you real quick, how's Cleveland, Ohio these days?
Well, actually, Cleveland is fine. It is where I come from. It's where I draw from. It's a great place to live. You know, it's also in the middle of a group of cities, all of whom have jazz history, and that's Detroit to the north and Pittsburgh to the east, and Cincinnati and Columbus to the south, and Indianapolis and Chicago to the west, and all these, Chicago being the farthest, but all these other cities are pretty accessible. That's kind of my basic touring circuit. That's kind of what I've been doing for a long time. And Cleveland is right in the middle of those cities. So besides Cleveland having its own thing, it also has access to all these other wonderful cities.
So let me ask you this. On Friday night, what do you want the crowd to take from the experience they get from your live show?
They'll get what they get, you know. We're going to be playing, and we're playing for them, to them. We're going to be having a great time. I would want them to be physically involved in the music. I want them to feel the grooving, the swinging. That's a big deal, you know, with what I do. And then the emotional impact of the music. If there are some folks in there that want to like analyze this stuff, well, that's okay too, you know. But generally, you know, the reason we're playing and the reason that I think musicians study music is so that they can make an emotional, you know, and physical impact. That's what I think they should be doing. You know, you want to know all you can know, but you want to know all you can know to create, you know, this, once again, the physical impact and an emotional impact, you know, and not just show what you know. That's not why I'm going to be playing. So, you know, I want them to be grooving, you know, and I want them to feel something, you know, and I want them, you know, and I would like them to, you know, to be moved and to remember and to remember that experience.
And speaking of getting into it and getting to the essence of things, everybody that goes to see you and that knows that you're coming to Kansas City knows who you are. You've been called one of the best tenor saxmen in the world by Harvey Pekar. There's all these perceptions of who you are, your family, your friends, your business associates. But who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
I'm a musician doing what I love to do, and I've been very fortunate. I'm kind of a lucky guy. I've been able to keep doing the thing that I love to do. I'm this guy that's doing what he loves, having a grand time doing it, still, trying to keep on doing this thing that, once again, I've been very fortunate to be able to do. Very lucky guy.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful way to wrap things up. Ernie, thank you for taking a little time to talk with me this morning.
And thank you for everything, Joe.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in New York, Kansas City, Cleveland, Ohio, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Ernie for his music and coming to Kansas City with that unique and cool jazz sound. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store, or visit theneonjazz.blogspot.com for all things Neon Jazz. Until next time, enjoy the music, my friends.
Neon Jazz.